It's Good Friday, and today we're at the church of,
Santa Croce.
what's the whole name?
Wait. Santa Croce in Gerusalemme.
Right, that means
Holy
Holy
Cross.
Cross in
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. So that distinction is important. We'll get to that in a second. This church is where Queen Helen, Constantine's mother, built her home. So when she was in her 80s, she traveled to Jerusalem searching for the true cross. Now, to understand how she found it, you have to go back 2,000 years. So we know that Christ was crucified on a hill, and the Romans, they loved to torture people. So what they would usually do with crucifixions is they would let the bodies hang until they died, which would sometimes take days. And then even after the people died, they would leave the bodies up on crosses as a warning to other people that if you mess up, this is what's going to happen. But Christ's crucifixion was on what day? Do you remember, either of you?
Friday.
No. What holiday?
It was the day before the Sabbath.
Passover.
Passover.
It was Passover.
Oh.
And so
Yeah.
the Romans didn't want to anger the Jews by having people screaming and dying on crosses on their holiest feast day. And so that's why they killed them. The
They
other
killed
two
them
guys
early.
that were up there, they weren't dead yet. They broke their legs, so they would die quicker. Because basically you suffocate to death. You die of asphyxiation. And then, rather than leave the bodies hanging, they took them down. And so Joseph of Arimathea asked if he could have the body of Christ to bury him in his nearby tomb. And so that's why he was buried in that tomb. Now, we've been to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and if you haven't been there, it's kind of crazy, but the crucifixion happened like here, and the tomb is here. Like, they're very close. They're in the same church,
Yeah.
the same building. So the followers of Christ right away wanted to go see where Christ was killed and where he rose from the dead. And that didn't go over too well with the pagans. They didn't like all these Christians. So they went to the emperor and said, "Hey, emperor, can you do something about this?" And so he built this pagan temple over that spot. It was just one building, but it covered the Golgotha, Calvary Hill, it covered the tomb in this one building. So what he also did was he covered up all the instruments of the Passion. They were there too. They left. I missed that part. They left the crosses and the spear and the nails. They just threw them into a ditch and went home. Anyway, so when Queen Helena traveled to Jerusalem in her 80s looking for this cross, she found that temple, because everybody knew, like, oh, that's the temple built over where Christ died. She had it destroyed, excavated below, found a spot where there were 3 crosses,
Yeah.
right?
Among other things.
And among other things. And then she brought all of that stuff with her here to Rome, but she also brought a bunch of dirt from the Holy Land.
Dirt.
So that's why this church is called Holy Cross in Jerusalem, because when we go into this church, we're walking on that foundation of the home she built over that soil.
Yeah.
So we're actually walking in Jerusalem, in a way. But what else did she bring back with her, Lily?
She brought back Thomas's finger, the crown of thorns, and the little script that says,
The INRI.
yeah.
Actually, she didn't bring back Thomas's finger. Thomas's finger came later.
She also brought. She also brought like crown of thorns, the good thief's cross, and
yeah.
one of the nails.
And one of the nails. Yeah. And then the finger, they decided to kind of complete the collection, because here's this guy, Thomas, who had his doubts even after he saw Christ risen from the dead. And so they wanted to show, like, here are the relics of the Passion, but if you have a little trouble believing, here's another guy that had trouble as well, Thomas. So that's why they completed the collection. So, yeah, we're going to go in and see those amazing relics. So that's why this church is Good Friday's station. It was also Laetare Sunday's station, but it's Good Friday's because it has the relics of the Passion. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but is this church ever crowded?
No,
No.
not at all.
Nobody is ever here. Like,
That's
not just
weird.
now, but in normal times. No one is ever in this church. So, except today on Good Friday. And that's because this is the day of the year where they bring out the true cross, and you can actually venerate the true cross. They process it through the church. So on Good Friday, this church is packed. Not now, it's like later today. So yeah, and this is our last station church video, because we're going to end today on Good Friday. So kind of sad about it, because I've had a lot of fun making them.
Maybe we'll remake some of them next year.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll redo some next year. And if you've enjoyed our videos and you want us to do more stuff like this, let us know. Help us out. This is like our full-time job right now, because I don't have any pilgrimage work. So we're enjoying showing you Rome, and yeah, but just give us some feedback. Let us know what you would like to see, more stuff like this, and yeah, that's it. So have a blessed Good Friday, Triduum, Easter,
everything.
Yeah, have a good everything. And thanks for joining us on this Lenten pilgrimage. All right. Okay.
Let's go take a look.
Let's go take a look. Ciao.
The fresco in the apse shows the story of the finding of the cross. You'll see on the far left people digging a hole and pulling out 3 crosses. The next scene shows the 3 crosses being presented to people who are sick. And then in the center, we have Queen Helena presenting the true cross. On certain days, the relics of the Passion are brought to the main altar for Mass. Usually they're kept in their own chapel. This reliquary has fragments of land from both Bethlehem and Jerusalem. And here we have 2 thorns from the crown of thorns. This piece of wood is the crossbeam of the good thief's cross. And here we have one of the nails. If it's bigger than you imagined, keep in mind that this had to be big enough to go through a grown man's wrists or his feet, then into wood, and be able to support all that weight. And here we have 4 big pieces of wood from Christ's cross. You'll see the wood behind each piece of glass here. This is part of the titulus, or the title, which hung above the cross. You might be familiar with the INRI. That's what this is. And finally, the finger of doubting Thomas. This is the finger that would have gone into Christ's wounds after he rose from the dead.